Now, for those of you who want to do a Tai Chi exercise that's going to exemplify these pivots, I'm going to show you 3 different movements in Tai Chi where we have to do a full pivot or a partial pivot. And when we know the correct movements of the core, it's going to allow us to do the pivots correctly. I'll first start with the movement shifting from what we call push after grasp the sparrow's tail. We do this movement where we sit back, and then we do a pivot of the foot where the foot's going to turn a full 135 degrees inwards. Let me show again. Sink back, and then turn the body, and the right foot's going to pivot inward 135 degrees. Then we shift back into this motion called single whip. This is one of the most challenging pivots to do in Tai Chi because the foot is turning in a full 135 degrees. And a lot of people, like I said before, think that they have a challenge doing this because their hip mobility is not that good. But it's not in the hips, it's in the entire part of the core coordinating together. I don't have very good hip flexibility, but I can do the 135-degree pivot because I'm coordinating the movements of my waist with the movements of the hip. So let me show you how this works. As I sink back, there's going to be 2 parts of this movement, just like I said with the pivoting in everyday life, 2 sections of the movement. I'm not just turning the waist around. I'm first shifting back, turning my root to the left leg. And this is going to initiate the turn with the whole body, even though you can't see the turn happening in the waist. So I'm already turning to the left with my lower abs, but I'm keeping the body facing forward with my upper abdominal muscles, which are turning to the right. That's what's happening as I'm shifting back here. So now my lower abs are turned to the left and my upper abs are turned to the right. And I've removed all of the weight from my right leg. Now I can use the upper abdominal muscles to turn all the way around and complete the turn. If you try to turn with your upper abdominal muscles from the beginning, you're going to run out of turning energy. So I can't go around anymore because I turned with the upper abs too soon. Now let me show you another movement that is going to pivot both feet. And this is going to require us to change weight from one leg to the other and then back during the course of what seems like one movement. This is coming from the end of the Tai Chi form after a movement called apparent close-up. We're going to turn and close the form. It's a really beautiful Tai Chi movement. And you can see that it has 2 pivots, one inward pivot and one outward pivot, coming from this movement here. First is going to be the inward pivot of the left foot. Now there's going to be the outward pivot of the right foot before we close everything up. Let me explain how this works. I'm standing on a rock. Okay. We're here now with my root actually on my left leg, meaning my lower abs are turned to the left, my upper abs are turned to the right. That's the end of this motion. What I'm going to do is sink back, turning my lower abs from left to right and keeping my upper abs turning to the left. What that's going to do is pivot the inward foot. I'm relieving the root from the left and shifting it to the right during this motion. That allows the inward pivot of my left leg. Now, to complete the movement, I'm going to turn the upper part of the waist from this counterclockwise direction to clockwise. But just doing that is not going to allow this foot to pivot. If I just do that by itself, I'm still stuck. I need to do that at the same time I'm going to turn the lower abs from right to left And that is going to shift the root from the right leg to the left leg and allow the right foot to pivot outward. Let me show you again very slowly. My root is on the left. I'm changing the root to the right. Now I'm going to change the root to the left and at the same time turn my upper abs to the right. Now my root is here and I can flex my right hip to shift my weight back. And then I'm going to turn my upper abdominal muscles to the left, and that's going to collect the leg. Let's look at the three parts again. First, looking at the root, and then I'll look at the upper part of the waist. Root on the left, root on the right, root on the left. Root is still on the left, root is still on the left. Now let's look at the upper part of the waist. Upper part of the waist is turning to the right. Now it's turning to the left. Now it's turning to the right. Now it's still turning to the right. Now it's turning to the left. And that's how we put all of those movements together. Now I'm going to show you one final Tai Chi pivot, which is going to come right from where we ended here, where we have to do a full turnaround. After this motion, we're going to turn around to strike behind us. This is going to be another full pivot, inward pivot, and it's going to be on my left foot. So we've shifted, we've changed, we've collected the right leg. As I put the right leg down, which is changing the root to the right leg with the lower abs, I'm going to turn my upper part of the waist to the left. So I have turning happening from the waist, rotation in the pelvis, but I'm keeping the body forward with the upper part of my waist on the right. So let's, from here, we collect the weight, turn the lower abs to the right while the upper abs are turning to the left. Now my root is on the right, taken off to the left. Now I can take the upper part of the waist and turn it to the right. And that's going to allow the 90-degree pivot of the foot before I change weight and step out. So those are three different Tai Chi techniques that you can practice in order to really solidify in your mind-body connection how the shifting of weight and then pivoting happens. When you can do that effectively, it's going to reduce your risk of falling down when you're walking around doing simple things like pivoting. I say simple, but as we get older, our body memory may not be as effective as it was before, and we forget how to do things that we maybe once knew how to do, and then that's why we start falling over. I believe that the more you can understand with the conscious mind what our body memory is normally doing reflexively, the more you can reduce your risk of having a problem with balance because you're keenly aware of how to shift weight and turn, and you're not just doing it out of reflexive body memory that may have developed when you were younger, but may not be as attuned when you get older. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, click the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. Also watch all the other videos on the channel, which are based on body movement, mostly working on walking technique so people can help reduce the impact on their joints, move more fluidly and more freely, and then with more consciousness. So as you get older, you can continue to walk without causing injury and walk without heavy impact on your joints that can lead to pain. Have a great day.